If Donatello was fighting Batgirl, who would win? Do you know? I'm not really sure. What I do know is that I finally hit 700,000 subscribers, which is freaking incredible. What is going on, guys and girls? It is GhostRobo, and this is a 700,000 subscriber special video. It's a Q&A. A lot of people have been asking for one of these for quite a while, and so questions were submitted, and I'm here for the answers. I wish that I could have like a giant plaque that said 700,000 and had a little tiny picture of everyone's avatar that's a subscriber, at least like their name really small. Like, you know, on like sports trophies, they have like a list of the team sometimes or whatever. Like, I want a list of every subscriber. So when you get one of those big YouTube plaques, it has like on the back, like in microscopic writing, all 1 million of you or whatever the milestone is. Anyways, 700K is freaking incredible, and we are now making that big hike towards 1 million, which I really hope to hit this year. I think I will. I really think I will. So anyways, I asked for questions on Twitter, twitter.com/GhostRobo. If you're not following me there, what are you doing? If you don't have a Twitter account, well, they're pretty fun. If you don't want one, then that's okay too. But if you follow me there, I say some fun stuff and share about my videos, and it's a pretty good time. So people asked questions, and now I'm here for answers. I think I said that already. Deja vu. This is getting weird already. The first question comes from DeToad, who says, what kind of chair do you use for gaming? I have not found one, and I get so sore after an hour or so of playing. That's a good point. When I started out, I used like a wooden chair, and it was kind of uncomfortable. This one, though, is really, really comfy. I'm going to get out of it, which is something I never do in the videos, and show you right here. It's a mesh chair. I mean, it's not mesh like, blah, you fall through, but it's like a strong mesh that's really good. I don't know what the brand is. Is it on here? Hello? What are you called? Do you have a name? Hello? Chair? Well, there's no brand on it, but I got it 3 years ago, so I doubt it's even being made anymore. But I believe I got it from Office Depot. It was pretty expensive, but what I like best about this chair is it keeps me cool, because it's not like a thick material. It stays nice and very aired out, even during the summer, hot months. So when I would do videos for long sessions, I would get really, really like just sweaty and in like the comfier chairs. I know a lot of people like those big comfy chairs, but for me, I wanted something that stayed very cool and very comfortable, and it also is ergonomic. It has a lot of adjusters, and you can change up everything, so I can go up, down, back, forward, side to side, shift and wiggle, whatever you want to do, it works for it. And next up, Ice DJ says, what was the coldest place you have ever been to? Now, this is kind of a trick question, because I would say, like, well, one time when I was in, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, or one time when I was in Canada, but the truth is that this year, this January, I was visiting a friend in Detroit for his wedding, and it was like minus 30, minus 40. I don't know the exact temperature, but it was so bad that my car barely would start, and I have like a pretty decent car. It's a 2012, and so it's not like any problems or anything, and it barely would start. The weirdest part of the whole cold experience this year was that the air in my nostrils felt like it was freezing when I was outside. So I'd walk outside, and it felt like there was like all I can think of like to explain this is like the air was solidifying within my nose because it was that cold. My fingers were instantly like, la, la, la. It was a severe warning, like an emergency warning where you could get frostbite within a couple of minutes. So it wasn't like anything to mess around with. So the real answer is that right here in the Midwest is the coldest place I have ever been to. Now, this question didn't come from anybody in particular, but people ask it a lot, and I know that they're going to ask it again. See this eye right here? This is a clothing brand called Society. That's that. Kel Swag says, Ghost, what are your most anticipated games of 2014? Well, a couple of them are actually coming out, or have come out, very, very soon. Titanfall and Dark Souls 2. But there's also Infamous Second Son. There's Destiny. Destiny is way, way up there on the list for me. I've been excited for that one ever since it released. I think it sounds really great to have, it merges sort of that first-person shooter epic storyline with RPG elements and character creation with co-op, but in what seems to be a more story-rich way than Borderlands. Because, see, my problem with Borderlands, it's very devoid of, to me, meaning. It's just like, let's go blow things up. And that's, like, fun for a while, but I would love, like, you're going planet to planet, you're doing this epic storyline with friends. Like, that sounds like an amazing experience, and I would trust that Bungie, with Halo, they did a great job at world building. I'm sure they can do it again with Destiny, so that's up there. I'm also very, very excited for Mario Kart 8 and Super Smash Bros. Wii U. I know those are like sequels, but they're going to be amazing. I played Mario Kart 8 at E3 last year. It was phenomenal. It looks gorgeous. It's ridiculously pretty, and going to be so much fun. The new Smash Brothers also looks ridiculously pretty, and I've been gearing up with Smash Brothers Brawl in preparation for this. I just hope it releases more like September, not November. And then I'm excited for whatever hidden game announcements happen at E3 this year. I assume that both, or rather all, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony will have a big announcement at E3 that will come out later this year, and whatever that is could be really cool, so I'm looking forward to that kind of preemptively. Some guy called Ben has a good question. He says, Ghost, what did you do before YouTube, and what motivated you to start? That's an interesting topic. Way before YouTube, I did high school, but then a little bit later, I had an internship with a professional basketball team. I would, write the articles after the game, do stuff with stats. It was okay. It wasn't as basketball-y as I wanted. I really love basketball, and so I was hoping it'd be more along those lines. I didn't really learn much basketball stuff. It was more businessy blah stuff. Then I worked for a local clothing company. I handled all of their computer stuff, which was pretty boring, but the good part there was that I could listen to music or listen to podcasts basically all day long. I felt a little bad, shutting out the world, being like, I'm in my own zone, but I really like the podcast more than just the typical banter. Over time, I did start just not having stuff in and just talking to people there or whatever, but sometimes I'd be in this focus zone typing and whatever, and it was okay for a first job type thing. It wasn't fun by any stretch of the imagination. I worked there about 8-9 months, and then I worked at Best Buy actually for a little bit. My mom was really bugging me to get a job, and I just wanted to do something that kind of would get me out of the house a little and also pay some money, and so I thought, hey, I really know a ton about games and media. This would be a good fit, and maybe people there I meet would be interesting. It turned out to be kind of crazy. I was only there for a few months. Retail's weird. I'm a very honest person, a very straight shooting type person. So parents would come in and want to know what the best games were, what the best deals were for their kids, and they really wanted us to push bundles and this and that. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't make crap up. I couldn't fake opinions. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on at retail, and not everybody, of course, but it just felt uncomfy for me. So I wasn't really a fan of that. So I wasn't really a fan of any the real jobs I had. I did like coaching. I coached basketball, and I was paid for that. So I coached basketball, high school basketball, before YouTube and during the first 2.5 years of YouTube, which was really fun. I really enjoyed that. I'm super passionate about it, and still actually right now I'm coaching my youngest brother Noah's 6th grade team. But then I started YouTube, and I haven't quote done anything major since in terms of any other job or any other exciting. YouTube's pretty exciting. It occupies me all day long, every day. I basically work 7 days a week, and it's a heck of a lot of fun, so I can't complain. Lady Gaga 121 fan says, Ghost, what song is currently your jam to jam out to? I don't know if this is surprising or not, but my musical tastes are rap, R&B, and some dance electronic, some pop, which may seem a little out of the ordinary. People in real life are usually I didn't picture you for that, but I don't know. That's what I really like. So right now I'm listening to, I like Trophies by Young Money and Drake. I like Simple Things by Miguel. I like Loyal by Chris Brown. I kind of the top stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything less mainstreamy, but I can't really think right now. Those are the 3 main songs I've been listening to lately. A lot of popular I liked Kanye's new album last year. I liked Big Sean's new album. I liked Pusha T's new album. I liked a lot of stuff. I'll basically listen to anything. I just like more fast, upbeat stuff. And more hip-hop, R&B, slanted music. Don C639 says, Ghost, are you coming to Gamescom this year? Oh, I would really like to. And more than just Gamescom, I'd really like to go to Europe. I've been wanting to for quite a while. It's something I've been thinking about, something I really would like to do. I don't know if it's something that I do with my girlfriend or I do with my brother or what, but that's definitely in the works. I really would like to get to Europe this summer, if possible. If not, definitely within a year or two, just for an exploratory trip and have fun sort of see something vastly unique. And I haven't really traveled very much ever. I've been to Canada and South Korea, which was really awesome, exciting, but it was so fun that I want to just expand that more, and I think traveling to Europe would be a great fun thing. If it can coordinate with Gamescom, that would be great. Ollie Jonesy says, what is your lucky number and any superstitions? Well, my lucky number is definitely 13. The reason is because I was born on December the 13th. I turned 13 on Friday the 13th. I was born at 1 a.m., which is like, I know it's the first hour, but I think of it as the 13th hour because you could 1 p.m. is the 13th hour. So all these coincidental 13s match up, and while that's most people's unlucky number, I always had got a kick out of it being my lucky number when I was younger, and I still do to this day. 13 is my favorite number, my lucky number, my special number. Superstitions? I guess my superstitions would be more a little bit like borderline OCD things. Like, I have to have things like, when I was younger, it was really bad, but like, say I was gonna have like this figure, I'd have to make sure he was like perfectly stood up, like perfectly straight lined up. I'd have like my chapstick lined up, my clock lined up, and everything. Like when I was younger in like grade school, everything had to be like perfectly in line, lined up. When I would go to bed, now I don't do that as much. I'm like, nah. But I do have some weird things. Like, this sounds totally crazy. I can't believe I'm even telling you, but like, I'll drink 7 sips of water before I go to bed, 7 or 11. I don't really know why. I'll like put a specific number of like emoji at the end of a text. There's just a couple of things I guess I do, and I don't really think of them as superstitious, like, oh god, whatever, but I guess it's more like weird, just, I guess it is superstition, but it makes no sense, and I'm totally embarrassed that anybody would know that, frankly. But yeah, oh, the other weird one is I feel like my heartbeat every night before I go to sleep, which is probably a anxiety-derived thing. I'm guessing that's what that came from because I never did that before, and I do it constantly now for the last few months. Like before I go to bed. It's not like a big deal, but again, these are all weird little quirks that I guess qualify as superstitions. Sneak Thief for Hire says, Ghost, what is your weapon of choice for the zombie apocalypse? Well, let me preface this whole question by saying I would possibly be a goner if there was a zombie apocalypse. I don't like bugs. I don't know how I would do with zombies. But if I had to pick a weapon, I mean, I guess ideally you'd want something like a gigantic machete blade on a long pole so you could kind of just like whip your way through or protect yourself from a distance. I think a nice machine gun wouldn't be too bad either. It would run out of ammunition eventually. Maybe a hot air balloon, does that count? Can I fly away and burn the zombies on the ground? An airplane, a fighter jet. This is what I pick. I can fly away from the zombies and shoot them while I'm going on my way out. I don't think that really qualifies as a weapon. So how about Iron Man's suit? Does that count? I'm just really afraid if you put a melee weapon in my hand, I'm going to be a disaster or freak out or panic. I have problems squishing ants. Zombies would not do well with me. Game Riot Army from the YouTube says, do you have any plans after YouTube? This is an interesting question, and it's something that I think a lot of YouTube people think about. And for me, I don't have any specific plans. There's a lot of stuff I want to do in life, and I hope I get to. I don't know, though, that it has to be separate from YouTube or not within YouTube. So, for example, like if I end up deciding I really would like to make a game or I really would like to write something, I don't think that has to be totally separate from YouTube. At the same time, I think beyond YouTube, eventually it will, whatever. I would probably, hopefully, carry my fan base somewhere else, somewhere exciting and new, whatever the new kind of cool big thing is. I don't see myself ever not liking video games, ever not liking making fun, happy, cool stuff, ever not liking interacting with people, and so I feel like it would just sort of naturally evolve, to what, I don't know, but I feel like it would just sort of take its own course, and hopefully I would be ready and excited to just ride along with it. Now, to follow that up, Give Delirium Scate says, how much longer will you do YouTube? Please, not soon, I hope, and what will you do after? So, the after part has already been addressed, but how long will I do YouTube? I think I'll do YouTube as long as I can, and I see that being a long time. The internet is definitely an up and down thing. It ebbs and flows, it comes, it goes, but video, YouTube, I don't see that disappearing anytime soon. I mean, I think you're at least safe for 5 years, and I hope I'm there the whole way through, and I hope I'm there as long as I can be. Here's how I could see myself leaving YouTube. 2 things. One, if the copyright thing ever got so crazy that I couldn't make the content I wanted to make, that would cause me to flee the coop, I guess. The other one is if something like really new and exciting came along, sort of in the same fashion. So say there's some new platform, new website for making content or interacting with fans, or I don't know, and that appealed to me more, and I could still do what I'm doing now, but like in a better way, I would probably do that as well. But thematically, I don't think I will leave YouTube or that GhostRobo for any reasonable amount of time. I think you're stuck with me for quite a while. A question that is not from a specific person but get asked a bunch is, what is my name? My name is Zach. Z-A-C-H. I spell it like a weirdo, but I like it that way, and I hope you guys do too. DevStar Inc. says, what game have you played the most and how long? Now, I've never really gotten into something super crazy hardcore because I like to play a lot of stuff, so I'm not the kind of person that plays WoW for 900 hours or Fallout 3 for 150 or Skyrim for 330 because I like to dip my toes into lots of different gaming waters. So I'm more like, hey, I'll play the main story, and if I'm really into it, I'll go back to the side quests. I really don't ever replay games. It's only happened a few times. So what we're looking at is multiplayer games probably. So I'm thinking like NBA, and I don't have a set amount, but I bet there's some NBA games that I played 100 hours over the course of the year, or more, because I would play every other day or a few games in a row or whatnot. I can't think of anything else that had that much lasting power. I mean, perhaps something like a Mario Kart or a Smash Bros. Has added up over time to that many hours, like a Mario Party. Maybe a Black Ops 2 was probably a lot. Black Ops 1 was probably a lot. I played that a lot with friends. But in general, I don't really spend massive chunks of time, and it's something I don't really like. I mean, I do like it because I get to try out so much stuff, and that's really enjoyable and really fun. But on one hand, like, you want to have that experience of being so just down the rabbit's hole with a game and just knowing every intricacy and every detail. I really admire that about people when they know all the lore and all the little secrets and all the extras. Like, that's so cool, and that's why I tried to really 100% as best I could Super Mario 3D World this year to kind of have some of that experience, not to the level of 300 hours, but at least what felt like a good level for me. The Real McCoy says, if YouTube wouldn't have worked out for you, what do you think you would be doing instead? I don't know. I think I'd probably be at college. I didn't go to college for two reasons. One, I was afraid of it and didn't really want to go travel super far away from my family and be really far away from my brothers, and I was just kind of nervous of the whole thing. I'd always gone to smaller schools, and so it kind of just weirded me out. And two, I had the YouTube thing and wanted to really pursue that and push it as far as I could and devote my whole time and life to that. But I think ultimately, probably if I wasn't doing YouTube, I would have got bored with regular jobs, like I mentioned, and probably gone to school for either game design or movie stuff. I got accepted into USC, their film school, for game design, so I probably would have pursued that. And I don't know where I'd be. I probably would be, a senior right now? Because I did take a gap year regardless of YouTube. I took 2 gap years regardless of YouTube. Before I started YouTube, I already took 2 gap years. But I was planning on going to college, so I'd probably be at USC finishing up my undergrad, and I have no idea what would happen beyond that. Man, it's weird to think about, these alternate parallel universe U's. What would you be doing if one little thing didn't happen, if I didn't try recording YouTube videos, if I didn't come up with the name GhostRobo, where would I be? That's a kind of freaky thought. Banana Otaku says, what's your favorite fruit? I'm going to have to disappoint you. Bananas probably are my second favorite fruit, but my first favorite fruit is definitely Granny Smith apples. I love apples. I love green apples. Always been my favorite. I like lots of fruits, though. I eat tons of fruit. Bananas, apples, oranges, grapefruit, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, pineapple, mango. I'm a big fruit eater, I guess. My whole family has always been, or at least as far as I can remember. So I eat a lot of fruit, and it's really yummy, and apples are my favorite. No Heath 66 says, what podcast do you listen to? This is a great question because I love podcasts. I mentioned it earlier. I've always wanted to do my own. In fact, before YouTube, I tried doing a few podcasts, and they weren't the greatest, but me and Jake had a great time. My favorite podcasts right now are the Giant Bombcast, Rebel FM, and those are probably my top 2. I really liked Weekend Confirmed. That's now a deceased podcast, which is kind of sad. In the past, I've listened to a bunch. Gamers with Jobs, The Geek Box, all the 1UP stuff like 1UP Yours. I listen to DLC with Jeff Kanata now. Trying to think. I've listened to 8-4 before. The CADcast used to be a big one for me. The Player One podcast used to be a big one for me. Right now, it's Giant Bombcast and Rebel FM every week. if I need extra stuff to listen to, like if I'm taking extra car rides, or a lot of times I listen to podcasts before I go to sleep. It kind of, you'd think it would keep me up, but it actually sort of like makes me focus, and therefore it keeps my mind quiet, and so I can fall asleep way faster with a podcast. So if I don't have something to listen to, I'll listen to the Geek Box at night, and almost all of those are exclusively gaming podcasts. A few of them, like the Geek Box, are more like movies, games, I guess just like all in that vein. I just really like listening to interesting people talk, especially about fun topics. Like I personally love the Giant Bombcast because they go totally off topic. I really enjoy the cast of people, and they talk about food and cooking and babies and whatever else, and it's always like a good time. Laughs. I like podcasts that are lighthearted and I don't know. It's like a really special thing for me. I listen to so many when I was in high school. Man, I had a job in high school where I was doing like scanning work, like literally like scanning pages. And I know that sounds really basic, but it was actually like top secret and pretty important. Anyways, I'm seriously can't even talk about it, but I would be scanning for hours and just listen to podcasts or driving to school, driving home from school, all that kind of stuff. Before I did YouTube, when you're not at school, you're not like talking to people a lot, so I would listen to podcasts way more and kind of have interaction that way. I know that sounds weird, but it's sort of true. Like then you feel like you make friends with the people on the podcast in the same way that people make friends with YouTube channels. Watching the YouTube videos every day, I would listen to the podcast every week and kind of build that sort of similar thing. And I think that's something that made me like YouTube even more, because then it's like a video and audio connection, and that's really cool. So yeah, my top two are Rebel FM and Giant Bombcast right now. Whatever Garnet Lee is going to do next, because I really liked We Can Confirm, should be super cool. That's a really long answer for a really short question, but I hope I gave you guys some good info. Lego Al 99 says, what is your favorite thing about doing videos? My favorite thing is probably, I would say like playing the games, because I love playing the games, but specifically about the videos, my favorite thing is when you guys really love it and like it a lot, and when I feel really proud of it. And sometimes those two things don't match up. There's videos I feel really proud of that people don't like, but when either one works, like I feel really proud of it, or people really like it, like it gets a bunch of likes, or people are having fun, or they're like more, like that response and knowing like I made some people happy, or I made them smile, or made them have fun is like the best part of it. I also really like playing the games. I can't lie. It's really fun, and I get really into it. I'm a big kid at heart, and so I love like getting a new game and checking it out and finding all the new stuff, and that's really cool. But most of all, I like your feedback, and I like when I make myself proud with a specific video. James Kedney says, what's your favorite game to play with your brothers? Well, we like to play a lot of multiplayer stuff, and I feel like lately there's been a lull for multiplayer games. Like stuff, I don't know, just maybe it's because of the huge push for like first-person shooters and online games, but in terms of local co-op, I feel like we kind of went through a dead period. But lately, me and Jake and Noah have been back into Super Smash Bros. Brawl quite a bit, and we're really loving Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. That's one that I've played tons of co-op and tons of hours right away, which is really interesting, because most multiplayer games I just kind of get bored of quickly, or don't have time for, or don't have friends or brothers who are playing it. So those two have been the huge ones lately. We also play a lot of NBA 2K14. All of us like to battle on that. Well, Jake doesn't really like it, but he feels obligated to play with me and Noah because we like it so much. For a while, I was really into Left 4 Dead with Jake. We had a lot of fun doing that locally. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm sure we'll get into Mario Kart 8 quite a bit and the new Smash Bros. We liked Injustice a lot last year. That was a really fun one that me and Jake got pretty into. We would play that during videos, even on not during videos. But right now it's definitely Smash Bros. Brawl, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and NBA 2K14. Classy Sponge says, are you going to do another end of the year contest this year? I definitely will. I don't know what the parameters are going to be. I don't know what the prizes are going to be, but I like doing a fun December contest. It's fun for me. It's fun for you guys. It always turns out really cool results. The montages last year were amazing, and the prizes I think were pretty cool. So definitely will be something at the end of the year like that. Timothy Watts 13 says, what was your first video game? My first ever video game, I think, was Super Mario Bros. On NES, the double cart that has Duck Hunt and Super Mario Bros. But I also played Pro Wrestling and The Little Mermaid very early. The Little Mermaid was the first game I ever beat. I didn't beat Super Mario Bros. Before I beat The Little Mermaid. I also played Felix the Cat early on, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, the Flintstones games. But my first ever game, I think, was Super Mario Bros. 1 on the NES with my uncle at my grandparents' house, my mom's youngest brother, and he gave me actually his NES, and I put a big Beast from X-Men sticker on the top to kind of lay down the law that it was mine once I got it, and that was like a glorious moment for me because I loved video games from the start when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I think I just always found them so fascinating, even when the graphics were simple and the controls were basic and there was no saves. It was like such an exciting thing. Frustrating, for sure, when I had to go to like kindergarten or preschool and like, I just want to beat Felix. No, I just want to freaking continue my Turtles game. So many like lost hours of my life because there was no save systems or passwords or whatever. Gosh. Anyways, Super Mario Bros. Would be the answer to your question. Pi Ghost Ab says, if you had the choice to fly, be invisible, or to read minds, which one would you pick? Oh my goodness. This is a really tough question. So there's flying, invisibility, mind reading. Okay, not invisibility. I think invisibility would be cool, but not as useful. So it's like flying or reading minds. I think flying would be really impressive. You could get anywhere quickly. I would really like that. Reading minds would be intriguing and interesting, but I think flying probably would be my choice just because I can think of it as having like the most uses. I could go visit my girlfriend. I could go to the store really fast. I could go on vacation all the time for free. That would probably be my choice, although I'd be worried about being shot down by the government or something spooky like that. The Raging Squirrel says, if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would you go? This is a great question, and one I don't even think I know the answer to. Like I said, I don't really travel a lot. I haven't in the past. I haven't been fortunate enough to, so I don't know. There's probably so many amazing places that would be so much fun. I've always wanted to go to, like, Jamaica or the Bahamas or somewhere, like, more tropical. I want to go to Europe, like I mentioned. I think Africa would be cool to visit. I think some of those, like, crazy places you hear about, like the underwater hotel or the ice hotel in different countries, I don't even remember where they are, would be really fun. Italy, Paris, like, very pretty South American ruins type places. I guess just everywhere. Really, there's no specific location like, oh my god, I have to go to Paris. But somewhere just fun and exciting and new, I think would be cool, and a place that, you know, sort of expands your horizons, expands your outlook, and that sounds really good to me. This question is again from a bunch of people, so many people. This one's the most common question. Advice on YouTube. How do you get started? What do you do? That's a really involved question. Maybe I'll make a separate video on it. The basic bottom line is, like, YouTube is really tricky. It doesn't seem like it because now they sell cheap capture cards and anybody can do it, but actually doing it is tricky. Like, you got to be dedicated, you got to be consistent, you got to be focused. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just like, oh, hook it up and then you're famous or whatever. It's much more complicated than that. And the best advice I can give anybody, and the thing that I typically try to say is that do what you enjoy. Don't do it because you feel pressure. Don't do it because you want the end result. Do it because you enjoy it. There are so many people doing YouTube right now, like literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people, millions of videos, billions of minutes of footage uploaded all the time. It's crazy. So to try and, like, oh my god, I want to be a big YouTuber, that's probably not gonna... That's a really hard way to go about it. I think you should do what you enjoy, and if you're really passionate about it and it's really fun for you and you have a unique take on something, then hey, if it takes off and you get pretty big or huge or whatever, awesome, that's great. But it's really hard to say, like, oh my god, I want to be a big YouTuber, what's the secret? There really is no secret. It's like a mixture of a million things. So do what you really enjoy, have fun with it, and strive for top quality. I can't stress that enough. There's so many people on YouTube. Maybe it sounds a little, I don't know, weird, but, like, you really do have to have good quality stuff. And if you don't, that's okay. You can still have an awesome channel and still make great videos. But in terms of, like, how you grow your channel, I think you need top tier quality, like HD video, high quality sound. People want to be able to hear and see clearly. And you have to be fun. You have to be unique. You can't be a copy of someone else. There's already so many people on YouTube and so many defined personalities. I could talk about this for hours. The bottom line is do what you enjoy and have that be the focus. And if you really love it and it's fun, great. I get so many messages from people saying, like, they're trying to do YouTube and it's so stressful and they're so bummed and so upset. Like, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a fun thing. And if you can, you know, figure out a way to make it fun for yourself, great. But if it's not fun, then maybe it's just not your thing. It doesn't have to be for everybody. It definitely isn't for everybody. And not everybody is going to be good at it or enjoy it or all that. So I just say do what you love doing. Do what you enjoy. Have fun with YouTube. Have fun with life. And just don't take it so seriously. Be passionate, be unique, and just kind of ride the waves that way. Demi Tweets says, Ghost, where did you get your username from? GhostRobo came from my own brain. I actually have a piece of paper. Maybe I'll put a snapshot of it up here or something, but that shows my original ideas for the channel. I was trying to think of something cool and clever that I really enjoyed and that sounded good, like off the tongue. So I just say these names over and over again. I tell them to my family. I ask them to review these lists or think about them or give me their vote. And GhostRobo just seemed like a really good combo. Nothing was really called GhostRobo on the internet. I also like that it could be like a character. Like the ghost was really, really fun. I thought that was really cool. And so I just created it myself and thought of it one day. I don't know what specifically sparked the idea of ghost and robo together. I really like the word ghost a lot. I thought it was a cool word. I like robo was like a cool word, and so I just kind of mushed them together. But yeah, that list, that's the original list. That's like a piece of history, I guess. And look where we are now. Flamed Beacon says, sorry if it's been asked a lot, but retail or digital? I go back and forth, but need to stick with one of them. This is a great question, and one that I still think about myself a lot, because on one hand, you have the convenience of digital. You just turn on the system, it's there. Like, there's some games like Plants vs. Zombies and Justice that I love to have digital, because then it's always with you. You don't have to worry about the case or the disc or swapping. Boom, you boot the system on, bam. That's a great part of the next-gen consoles, that you can get everything digitally. It makes things really convenient. At the same time, you guys know that I have a big shelf over there with games, and I love to have that physical box to say, like, I have this game and look through them. It's fun just to kind of take that memory journey for yourself and see what games you have, see what's there, and that's, like, really enjoyable for me. So I go back and forth. Right now, I'm kind of firmly retail. I do digital occasionally, like if I really want that game on my system. Like I got Injustice for PS4 digitally, I got Plants vs. Zombies digitally, because like I know that's something I really want to have at all times on the console. I'm going to play it a lot. Like Titanfall is something I'd be okay with having digitally, but I also want the box. Someone on Twitter had a pretty good suggestion of like getting it digitally and then looking for an empty box on eBay for like $2 or $3 or $5 or something, and then that might be a good alternative. So you have the box, it's empty, but then you have the digital copy for the convenience as well, and you have the retail box for the shelf and just your peace of mind and whatever. So I kind of go back and forth. I feel like as this generation carries on, I will lean more digitally, especially as I kind of get over the fact that you don't need to have a box for everything, or maybe I'll just buy all the boxes empty and then do digital. I would rather do digital, put it that way, because I like the convenience factor, and I like having kind of this console be a library of games. Like, open up the console, and bam, what do you want to play? Like, that's a really fun thing. You bring a friend over, you play with your brother, even just yourself. You're like, I don't know what to do, I'm going to turn this on and look at all the pretty pictures. It's like Netflix for games or something. That's pretty sweet, and I like that better than having to go swap out discs, bring the discs with you. It's just better overall, and so I think I'll probably lean in that direction eventually. Woo! That was like 25 questions, all of them good, hopefully all of them fun. Tried to answer a wide variety of stuff. We'll do another one of these sometime in the future. I'm hoping to add live streaming and stuff to the channel so we can bring in more Q&A stuff. Thinking of doing like a weekly Q&A advice mixture video where people could send me emails or tweets, and I could answer questions or give you advice as best I could on different things that you might be curious about. If that sounds like a good idea to you, let me know in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video and want more like this. Guys and girls, super big thanks for 700K. I thank you guys all the time. I know you guys are so awesome. I appreciate you so much. You know that I know you're awesome, and so I just can't wait to carry on and get to 800, 900, a million. This GhostRobo train ain't stopping, and I can't wait to continue on the journey with all of you. Thank you for being a part of it. Big, big thanks. I started my channel a little over 3 years ago, and to be at 700K is crazy. So many people. I can't even like imagine that many people. I know everyone says it all the time, but it's true. Most YouTubers are just regular people. I'm just a regular person in my room, my office room, recording videos and talking to you guys and trying to make your days a little happier. So thinking of 700,000 it's absurd. I've been to NFL games and NBA games, but that doesn't come anywhere close to six figures like that. So wow, wow, wow. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Let's think of something epic for a million when we get there. Right now, though, what do you think of the Q&A? Hope you enjoyed it and had some fun. If you want more, let me know in the comments below. Until that time, everybody, thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. Drink some hot chocolate. We will see you all later.